I'm John Biggs. This is The Big Show. And that's Clayton Hill. And we're actually going to go live to Lions Bay, BC right now to talk. How you doing, Clayton? Nice to have you on the program. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on.
First of all, thanks for being up this early. I used to play in bands too, so I know that this is a ridiculous. You're usually just still up at this time of day.
Well, I've done that before, but I have a 10-year-old daughter, so I'm pretty much up with her when she's got to get going. So.
Oh, you do have some normalcy there, then. That's good.
That's when I'm not on the road yet.
Just looking through some of your bio and stuff to find out a little bit about you, and you indeed you started as a touring drummer with Trooper in 2006. What were you doing before that?
Well, I'm still currently with Trooper, by the way. But before that, I was just traveling some destinations around the world with a band called Ozone. We're basically a dance band and heading up Shanghai, a little bit of the Middle East and Europe and like Finland and Sweden. And then just before that, I was in a tribute act, actually, Legends of Rock and Roll. I was a drummer for the buddy Elvis and Roy Orbison, and we actually frequent London, Ontario quite a bit.
Fantastic. Well, the next time you're in London, Ontario, you'll have to stop by the station so we can have you live in the studio.
I have to, because I was just there in September with Trooper, and I walked around and had an hour before our ride to the airport, and I just walked around the downtown core of London and just really enjoyed myself. I actually really like London, Ontario.
Yeah, it's a great spot. So I love this city. There's nothing not nice about it. It's just a great city.
Lots of music.
Yeah, and a wonderful. Yeah, there is a really nice. There's a great indie music scene. There's just a whole lot of things happening and some great venues to play in as well.
Yeah, I felt that just walking around, just a good hour of taking. I have lots of pictures on my Facebook of London, Ontario as well.
I was having fun with just talking about drummers. You don't see it a whole lot. That the drummer is the guy who's the lead. You know, you get Dave Grohl, who's now going to switch to guitar. Phil Collins, of course. And so how does that happen? I'm a bass player. So, you know, bass and vocals is kind of an easy thing to do. There's a couple of different rhythms going on in your head, but drums and vocals, that's, you know, the vocal line and the drum line are two completely different things. Where did that left brain, right brain thing come from?
I don't know. Just growing up I'm actually from Northern Ontario, South Porcupine, just outside of Timmins, and our family was kind of musical, and my mom was a great singer, and I don't know, it was just part of that genes of that, and musically, it wasn't really, the inspiration didn't come out of Ontario. It was when I moved to Lions Bay in 1974, I broke my left leg and picked up a bongo, and I don't know, anything from humming to songs that I didn't really know until about 14, 15 that I can actually sing or write. And then, this album that you've been listening to it's been kind of in my head for a good 20 years. And then being in a lot of different bands, start up and then record and then break down. As you probably know, a lot of bands don't make it past recording. I just said, no, you know what, I'm going to do this on my own. And decided to put a record on my own. I originally wanted to do everything on my own, like bass and guitar, but I realized on a bass guitar I cannot play with drums. I can't play it myself, lack of a better term.
So, you know what? That if you need a side bass player, just let me know. I'd love to fill in sometime.
Yeah, man. For sure.
So here's the thing. You've got this album, and the name of the album again is?
Hurting to Feel.
Right. You are essentially taking it across the country on your own?
Well, right now I'm not really supporting it as far as live because it's a lot of money and it's a big commitment to come from West Coast and travel any further east.
Huge.
It's a big commitment, and being in other bands and knowing how hard it is, even with Trooper. I mean, the work those two guys put into to put a show across Canada is just huge.
Ray and Brian, you mean?
Yeah, Ray and Brian. Yeah. They're like every day 40, 50 emails about one particular situation or show across Canada, and it's a lot of work. And there's obviously lots of people outside the band too that are working towards it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if people understand how there's a lot of money tied up in the touring end of things. How have you found being able to sell music digitally, how has that helped the average musician?
Well, certainly doing interviews and just Facebook, social media has probably did all my sales, because I don't have a springboard to help me with that other than just doing interviews. I don't know. I know the digital downloads are different from back in the day when it first started coming out. People just didn't know how to buy music digitally, I guess. But for me, it's just word of mouth and just basically sell yourself.
Now, and you've been doing this for how many years?
Musically, geez, I realized I could drum about 1975, and my first gig probably 79, 78, 77 or so. And wait till I got out of high school and just stubborn, went right on the road and toured up until the point where I had a kid roughly 11 years ago, and just basically stayed more closer to home. And luck have it, I joined Trooper in 2006, and that helps. Like I sell some of my songs because of the connection I have with Trooper, be it Trooper fans get to know me over the years of traveling. But it's probably a good 35, 36 years.
Wow. So you've seen an awful lot of changes when it comes to how you get music sold and how you present it, how it gets promoted, right?
Yeah, I actually, on Facebook, I saw just a diagram of tons of musical gear and soundboard and compression and speakers and mixing stuff. It shows like the price tag under each thing, like $450,000 for a Neve console to a rack of stuff worth $50,000 down the line, and then you squish it down to an MP3 and sell it for 99 cents.
Yes, yeah.
It's just wow, just.
It is pretty crazy. And then, of course, a lot of it just gets stolen, and people don't use the word stolen, but that's essentially what happens. Yeah,
actually, I've been purchasing pretty much ever since iTunes has been online. Either I'm supporting a record label or I'm supporting, a guy like myself. It's like I'm always buying like music, either vinyl or digital downloads.
We're going to take a quick sec here, if we can, Clayton, and play a little bit of I Am, one of the tracks that I've got here in front of me from the new project. And this is put together at Gotham City Studios. Tell me a little bit about that.
It's a buddy of mine named Scott Young out of New Westminster, about 40 minutes away from where I am, just outside of Vancouver. And I've known him for years, like since the early 90s, but I've never known him to have a studio. And essentially, this album was being recorded, 5 years ago, but just time and money was always an issue. And found out this guy Scott Young had the studio. Just out of the blue, you want to put your drums on? Here's, give me $100 and you can put your drums down. And then that's how it started. It just basically, every time I had a few coins in my pocket, I just walked into a studio and just did whatever I could.
Fantastic. This is what I really like about the album cover, by the way, is that your daughter drew it.
She drew it at 3 years old. Yeah, it was on a 2-inch by 2-inch yellow sticky note, and I found it amongst her books in her bedroom when she was away with her mom for a holiday, and that just blew me away. I was like, I couldn't believe a little child could draw something like that around 3 years old.
There's a lot of emotion in it, that's for sure. This is Clayton Hill, and you can go to ClaytonHillMusic.com and find out more. But this is a song called I Am, and we're going to take a quick break after you hear some of this, and be back with a bit more with Clayton from News Talk 1290 CJVK.
The Big Show with John Biggs on News Talk 1290 CJBK. To get a hold of John, call 519-643-1290 or visit cjbk.com.
Clayton Hill's album is called Hurting to Feel. It's 11:49. I'm John Biggs. This is The Big Show. And Clayton, currently the touring drummer with Trooper. He's a BC boy. And this album, Hurting to Feel, it's I really like when you look, you're so right about the picture that your daughter drew like 7 years ago when she was only 3. It's so more insightful than you'd think a 3-year-old would be able to draw. Right?
Oh, totally, yeah. And I remember, probably like about a year ago, I just realized that she actually drew her left hand because she's left-handed like I am.
Ah, okay.
And when you look at the picture, like she's actually left-handed in the picture, and
yes,
just little things like that just blows me away.
Yeah, very cool. You write all the lyrics on the album as well?
I did, yeah.
And how long has that been something? Because you've played, and we just talked off air a little bit about the fact that you had I don't know if you still do. Do you still play the U4, the U2 tribute band stuff?
It just started. We just did our second show, and it's actually exploding pretty good now. We're featured on a magazine out of an agency out of Vancouver, and they're sending it out to 6,000 businesses across Western Canada. So it's actually doing really well, at least on paper, anyways.
How is that? I wonder how is that going to affect getting your name out for your solo stuff? Is that going to be difficult to navigate?
I hope not. I mean, again, I'm doing this all on my own, and I mean, obviously there'll be conflicting days, like when Trooper gets busy in spring and summer.
Right.
U4 will have to sub out myself, and as far as my own personal thing, I just can't put any more money into it other than, if anything, just do like some jams, like acoustic guitar by myself with no band.
Right.
But if I had to support it, I'd do it on the drums. But yeah, I mean, I had a day job up until October, and I just thought, you know what? If I'm going to do all music, I'm going to try it now until the end of the summer, and just see how much musically I can continue on.
I don't know if people understand how brave that is. That's brave.
Yeah, well, as long as I don't see myself on the streets in another 20 years,
well, and of course you'll always watch for that, because you'll always watch that where that line is, because you got a 10-year-old girl and you want to make sure that everything's right in her world. So
being a sole parent, I mean, it's just her and I as well. There's just no other support really.
And just one more mention of ClaytonHillMusic.com. You go there. There's every button you could possibly need. MasterCard, Visa, the Buy Now button, digital downloads available. You can do it at iTunes, Amazon, eMusic, and get a chance. I guess you can probably preview all the songs there as well too, right?
You could, yeah.
So it's funny that you mentioned South Porcupine. Because I mean, this is completely off the wall. Doesn't have anything to do with the interview. And I'm just curious because I know South Porcupine, not a big place.
No.
And I know the folks who own the Tim Hortons in town, the Lauzon family. Do you know the Lauzons?
Oh, geez, I left there when I was like 7, so I wouldn't really have too much of a memory other than immediate family.
I'm sure they are the kind of people who, if they know you're a musician, they're out there supporting you. That's kind of the way South Porcupine is. So
it's funny when I was just there a couple of years ago. I was there for like a really, really fast trip, and I tracked down my very, very first friends growing up, and we met at that Tim Hortons.
That's fun.
I took a lot of pictures, and it was like like a lot of emotions in 15-minute conversation. I had to move on with Trooper out of Toronto right away after that. But yeah, a lot of fast emotions in that little town, even though people grow up and live there. And
I'm going to have to let them know that you're from there, and then you'll probably see them looking for you on Facebook and wanting to become your friends on Facebook, because that'd
be awesome. I'm actually looking to go back there this summer again. It's been a week there because I still have family there and relatives and stuff, and I do miss it. I think about South Porcupine actually quite often.
Fantastic. I can guarantee you I'm gonna get you a free honey cruller at least.
Timbits, man, Timbits.
Oh, Timbits. Okay. All right, because of course you can share those with Chloe.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I want to thank you very much for this. We're going to we're gonna play Chambers of Life on the way out here, but just a reminder to people to go to ClaytonHillMusic.com. It's really all about the independent artist at this point. Continued success though with U4, and a pleasure talking to you, Clayton. Thanks for this.
Thank you very much. I look forward to meeting you down the road in London, and thank you very much for having me on.
Absolutely, we'll jam. Bass players and drummers, we like to do that sort of thing.
We will.
All right.
I'll get a hold of you when we get there.
All right, thanks. We're the backbone, after all. All right, take care. 11:55. This is Clayton Hill, Chambers of Life, from his new album called Hurting to Feel. You got to see the cover done by his daughter when she was only 3 years old. Pretty cool. This is The Big Show from News Talk 1290 CJBK.
All that's said and done, all that's left is to run with the angels. You can see the haze deep in my mind through my eyes. You see reasons why every day you can't explain what you're here for. Walk through the walls below your ears, on your knees, through the chambers of your life. Chambers of life. All that's left to feel is the love. Chambers of life. Let our love be one and one for all. So listen to your heart, you'll not fall apart. Go on. Need not stand on guard, your soul is your guide, your guide.